Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to English Mastery Hub. I'm Logan, and I'm so happy to be with you today. I hope you're doing great and ready to learn something new. Today, we have a very special topic. We are going to talk about one of the most inspiring leaders in history, Winston Churchill. His story is full of courage, determination, and never giving up, even in the hardest times. Have you ever felt like giving up when things get difficult? Maybe when learning English you think, this is too hard, or I'll never be fluent. But what if I told you that even the greatest leaders faced difficulties and challenges? Winston Churchill had many struggles in his life, but he never gave up. He believed in hard work, strong words, and never quitting. Imagine this. A big war is happening. Many people are afraid. They don't know what will happen next. Then, one man stands up and speaks with power. His words give people hope. That man was Winston Churchill. His speeches helped people stay strong and believe in victory. In today's lesson, we will learn about his life, his challenges, and his most famous words. We will also learn important lessons from him, lessons that can help you in your own life. If you ever feel like something is too difficult, Churchill's story will remind you that you should never, never, never give up. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to English Mastery Hub. This way, you won't miss any of our lessons that will help you become more confident and fluent in English. Are you ready to learn about Winston Churchill? Let's get started. Winston Churchill was born on November 30th, 1874, in a beautiful place called Blenheim Palace, located in England. He came from a very rich and powerful family, but that didn't mean everything was easy for him. Even though his family had a lot of money and influence, Winston faced many challenges growing up. When Churchill was a young boy, he didn't enjoy school much. In fact, he wasn't a great student at all. He had a hard time paying attention in class and often got bad grades. His teachers didn't think he would do well in life. They believed that he would not be successful, and many people around him didn't think he was very smart. This must have been difficult for Churchill, but he didn't let it stop him. Churchill wasn't the best student, but he had a deep love for history. He liked reading about great leaders and warriors from the past. He was interested in how people became heroes and changed the world. Even though his schoolwork wasn't good, he spent a lot of time reading books and learning on his own. His passion for learning about history and writing stories made him feel connected to the past. He dreamed of becoming someone important, like the heroes he read about. Churchill's family played a big role in shaping his early life. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was a well-known politician. His mother, Jenny Jerome, came from America and was also very influential. They were both busy with their own work, and Churchill spent a lot of time on his own. Despite their busy lives, they had high expectations for him, and they wanted him to be successful. However, their relationship with him was not always easy. Winston often felt alone and misunderstood by his family, especially because his parents were so busy. Despite this, he always felt proud of his family's achievements and wanted to do something that would make them proud. This desire to prove himself motivated him throughout his life. When Winston finished school, he didn't want to stay in England and work in a normal job. He was full of energy and wanted adventure, so he joined the British Army. This decision changed his life. Joining the Army was the beginning of his adventure around the world. It was in the Army that Winston started to develop his leadership skills and sense of responsibility. The army also gave him the chance to travel to many different countries. He went to places like India, Sudan, and South Africa. While traveling, Churchill didn't just follow orders like other soldiers. He wanted to understand the world better and learn from his experiences. He started working as a journalist, reporting on the battles and wars he saw. He wrote articles about the events, and his writing became very popular. One of the most exciting parts of Winston's early life took place in South Africa. This was during the Boer War, which was a war between the British Empire and the Boer republics. Winston was sent to South Africa as a war correspondent, which means he wrote stories and reports about the war for the newspapers. But while he was there, something happened that changed his life forever. Winston was captured by the enemy during the war. He was taken as a prisoner and sent to a prison camp. Being a prisoner was not easy. It must have been a very hard and scary time for him. But Winston was not the kind of person to give up. He refused to stay in prison and decided to escape. He spent a lot of time planning his escape. He knew that escaping would be difficult, but he was determined to succeed. After many days of planning and hard work, he managed to escape from the prison. He traveled for miles and faced many dangers along the way, but he never gave up. Eventually, he made it to safety, and his escape became famous. This was one of the first moments in his life when people began to see Winston Churchill as a brave and determined man. Even though he had been captured and sent to prison, he didn't let that stop him. He escaped and showed the world that he was not afraid of challenges. This escape gave him confidence and made him a hero to many people. It was one of the moments that helped him build his reputation as a strong and fearless leader. After Winston's escape from prison, people started to pay more attention to him. His bravery in South Africa made him famous, and many people admired him for his courage. He continued his work as a journalist, writing more about the wars he had seen and the experiences he had. His stories made people think about leadership and bravery in a new way. Winston's fame didn't just come from his writing or his bravery in war. It also came from the way he spoke. He had a special talent for speaking to people in a way that made them listen. He inspired people with his words and showed them that even in the hardest times, they could still find hope. Winston Churchill's early life showed that he was not a typical student or person. He didn't follow the usual path to success. But what made him special was his determination. Even though he struggled in school, had problems with his family, and faced many challenges, he never gave up on his dreams. He believed that one day he would do something important, and he worked hard to make that happen. From being a poor student to becoming a famous journalist and soldier, Churchill proved that success is not always about being perfect. It's about working hard, being brave, and never giving up, even when things seem impossible. Winston Churchill's early life wasn't easy, but it was full of valuable lessons. He showed us that no matter where you come from or how hard life is, you can still achieve great things. His story teaches us that we should always keep going, even when things seem tough. We should be brave, work hard, and believe in ourselves. So, as we continue learning about Churchill's life, remember this: success isn't always about being perfect. Sometimes it's about not giving up. Just like Winston Churchill, you can overcome any challenge if you keep trying and never lose hope. After his exciting adventures as a soldier and journalist, Winston Churchill decided to enter politics. He wanted to help his country and make a difference in the world. His journey in politics was not easy, but he never gave up. Churchill started his political career in 1900 when he became a Member of Parliament, MP. This was his first step in the government. He worked hard and quickly became known for his powerful speeches and strong opinions. He wanted to make Britain a better place and believed in hard work, bravery, and leadership. But being in politics is not easy. Churchill made some mistakes, and not everyone agreed with his ideas. Some people liked him, while others thought he was too bold or made bad decisions. He changed political parties, which made some people lose trust in him. He was sometimes criticized for his decisions, and at one point he lost his position in the government. Losing his position was a difficult time for Churchill. Many people doubted him, and some thought his career was over. But he did not lose hope. Instead of feeling sad, he continued learning, writing, and preparing for the future. He knew that one day, Britain might need him again. In the 1930s, Churchill warned people about a big danger: Nazi Germany. He believed that Adolf Hitler and his army would cause a great war, but many people did not listen to him. They thought he was too worried. But Churchill was right. In 1939, World War II began. Germany, led by Hitler, started attacking countries in Europe. Britain was in great danger, and the people needed a strong leader. In 1940, Churchill was chosen to be the Prime Minister of Britain. This was one of the most important moments in his life. Britain was facing one of its darkest times. Germany was bombing British cities, and people were scared. But Churchill was ready to lead. One of Churchill's greatest strengths was his ability to give powerful speeches. He spoke with confidence and inspired people to stay strong, even in the hardest times. One of his most famous speeches was, "We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender." These words gave people hope. They reminded the British people that they should never give up, no matter how difficult things became. Churchill made people believe that they could win the war. Churchill also worked closely with other leaders, like U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt and Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. Together, they made plans to fight against Hitler and the Nazi army. Churchill spent many days and nights working on strategies to protect Britain and help its allies. One of the biggest challenges during the war was the Battle of Britain. German planes attacked British cities every day. Many buildings were destroyed, and many people lost their lives. But Churchill kept encouraging the British people. He reminded them to stay strong and never lose hope. Under his leadership, the British Army continued to fight bravely. Churchill also helped plan the D-Day invasion in 1944. This was a big attack where Allied forces landed in France to push back the German army. The plan was risky, but it was successful, and it helped lead to the end of the war. Finally, in 1945, after 6 long years of war, Britain and its allies won. Germany surrendered, and the war in Europe was over. The people of Britain celebrated, and Churchill was seen as a hero. He had led his country through one of the darkest times in history and helped them achieve victory. Even though Churchill was a great leader during the war, his political career had ups and downs. After the war, in 1945, he lost the election and was no longer prime minister. This was a big surprise because he had just led Britain to victory. But even in defeat, Churchill did not give up. He continued to speak and write about world affairs. He gave a famous speech in 1946 where he talked about the Iron Curtain, warning the world about the dangers of communism and the growing power of the Soviet Union. This speech became very important during the Cold War. Then, in 1951, Churchill became prime minister again. He was older now, but he still worked hard for his country. He wanted to keep Britain strong and peaceful. However, his health was not as good as before. In 1955, he decided to retire from politics. Even after retiring, Churchill remained an important figure in Britain. People respected him for his leadership and bravery. He spent his later years writing books and sharing his knowledge. In 1953, he won the Nobel Prize for Literature because of his excellent writing. Churchill passed away on January 24, 1965, at the age of 90. His funeral was one of the biggest in British history. Many world leaders came to honor him. People remembered him as a man who never gave up, even in the hardest times. Churchill's story teaches us many lessons. He showed us the importance of courage, determination, and strong leadership. Even when people doubted him, he kept going. Even when he made mistakes, he learned from them and came back stronger. His famous words, "Never give up," still inspire people today. His life reminds us that success is not about never failing. It's about never stopping. No matter how difficult life becomes, we must always keep trying. Churchill was not just a politician. He was a leader who gave hope to millions. His leadership during World War II changed history, and his speeches continue to inspire people all over the world. Winston Churchill's words have inspired millions of people around the world. He was not only a great leader, but also a powerful speaker. His speeches and quotes gave people hope, courage, and strength during difficult times. Even today, his words teach us valuable lessons about life, success, and determination. Churchill believed that words could change the world. He had a special way of saying things that made people feel strong and motivated. His quotes are short and simple, but they have deep meaning. Let's look at some of his most famous quotes and what they mean in our daily lives. Never, never, never give up. This is one of Churchill's most famous quotes. It means that no matter how hard life gets, we should keep going. Churchill faced many challenges in his life. When he was young, he was not the best student. Later in politics, he lost his position and was criticized by many people, but he never stopped working hard. When World War II started, he became the leader of Britain and helped his country win the war. This quote teaches us that giving up is not an option. We all face difficulties in life. Maybe you are learning English and feel frustrated. Maybe you have a big dream, but things are not going well. Churchill's words remind us that if we keep going, we will succeed. So whenever you feel like giving up, remember this quote: keep trying, and one day you will achieve your goals. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. This quote tells us that success and failure are both temporary. If you succeed today, that doesn't mean you will always succeed. And if you fail today, that doesn't mean you will always fail. What really matters is to keep going. Life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes we win and sometimes we lose. But we should never stop trying. Churchill knew this very well. He experienced both success and failure in his life. He won big battles, but he also made mistakes. Instead of feeling bad, he always moved forward. This quote is useful for everyone. If you succeed, stay humble and keep working. If you fail, don't be afraid. Learn from your mistakes and try again. Success and failure are just part of the journey. The most important thing is to have the courage to continue. We shall never surrender. Churchill said this during World War II when Britain was under attack. Germany was bombing British cities and people were scared. Churchill gave a speech to encourage them. He wanted to tell them that no matter how hard things got, they would not give up. His full speech was, "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender." These words were very important. They gave people hope and strength. They reminded people that they had to stay strong and fight for their country. This quote is also useful in our daily lives. Sometimes we face problems that feel too big. Maybe we have a difficult job, a big test, or a personal challenge. Churchill's words remind us that we should keep fighting and never give up. To each, there comes in their lifetime a special moment when they are figuratively tapped on the shoulder and offered the chance to do a very special thing, unique to them and their talents. What a tragedy if that moment finds them unprepared or unqualified for that which could have been their finest hour. This quote tells us that everyone gets an opportunity in life. There will be a moment when we are given a chance to do something great, but if we are not ready, we will miss that chance. Churchill believed that preparation is very important. He always prepared himself for big moments. He read books, learned about history, and practiced speaking. So when the time came for him to lead Britain, he was ready. This is a lesson for all of us. If we want to succeed, we must prepare ourselves. If we want to speak English fluently, we must practice every day. If we want to have a good job, we must learn new skills. We never know when our big opportunity will come, so we must always be ready. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Churchill believed that our attitude, or the way we think, can change everything. A positive attitude can help us overcome challenges, while a negative attitude can make things worse. For example, if you are learning something new, like English, and you believe, "I can do it," then you will keep trying and improve. But if you think, "This is too hard, I will never learn," then you might stop practicing and never succeed. Churchill's words remind us that our attitude is important. If we stay positive and keep trying, we can achieve great things. Difficulties mastered are opportunities won. This quote means that when we solve difficult problems, we create new opportunities. Challenges are not bad things. They are chances to grow and become better. Churchill faced many difficulties in his life, but each time he found a way to solve them. By doing this, he became stronger and wiser. This is a good lesson for us. When we face a problem, we should not be afraid. Instead, we should see it as a chance to learn and improve. Every time we solve a problem, we become better and stronger. The price of greatness is responsibility. Churchill believed that if we want to be great, we must take responsibility. Great leaders do not run away from problems. They face them and find solutions. During World War II, Churchill took responsibility for leading Britain. It was not easy, but he did not run away. He made decisions, gave speeches, and guided his people. This quote is important for everyone. If we want to succeed in life, we must take responsibility for our actions. If we want to learn English, we must practice every day. If we want to achieve our dreams, we must work hard. Churchill's quotes are more than just words. They are lessons for life. They teach us to be strong, to keep going, and to never give up. No matter what challenges you face, remember Churchill's words. Stay positive, work hard, and never stop trying. If you do this, you will achieve great things. After World War II, Churchill was still an important leader. He did not stop working after the war ended. People respected him for his strong leadership and powerful speeches. Even though the war was over, he continued to serve his country. In 1951, Churchill became Prime Minister again. He was older, but he still wanted to help Britain. He worked hard to rebuild the country after the war. Many people trusted him because they knew he was a strong and wise leader. In 1953, Churchill won the Nobel Prize in Literature. This was a great honor. He received this prize because of his books and speeches. Churchill was not only a leader, he was also a great writer. He wrote about history, war, and leadership. His words inspired many people. Churchill also became known for his speeches and ideas about peace. He wanted countries to work together and avoid war in the future. He gave speeches about unity and cooperation. He believed that peace was the best way for the world to move forward. As Churchill grew older, his health became weak. He retired from politics in 1955. Even after retiring, people still listened to his advice. Leaders from different countries wanted to learn from him. On January 24, 1965, Churchill passed away. He was 90 years old. His funeral was one of the largest in British history. Many world leaders attended to honor him. They respected him for his bravery, leadership, and wisdom. Even today, Churchill is remembered as one of the greatest leaders in history. His speeches and quotes continue to inspire people. Many leaders study his life to learn about courage and determination. Churchill taught the world that strong words can give people hope. He showed that even in the hardest times, a leader must stay strong and never give up. His legacy lives on in books, speeches, and history lessons. His name will always be remembered, not only in Britain, but around the world. Winston Churchill's life teaches us many important lessons. He faced many challenges, but never gave up. He used the power of words to inspire people, and his confidence helped him lead Britain during difficult times. His story can teach us how to overcome challenges in our own lives. One of the biggest lessons we can learn from Churchill is to never give up. Churchill had many difficulties in his life. As a child, he was not a top student. His teachers thought he would not be successful. Later, in his political career, he lost elections and made mistakes, but he never stopped trying. He believed that failure was not the end. He kept learning, improving, and preparing for the future. During World War II, when Britain was in danger, Churchill did not give up. He worked hard to protect his country. His determination and leadership helped Britain and its allies win the war. His story teaches us that life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes we fail, but failure is not final. The most important thing is to keep going. Churchill's words are another powerful lesson. His speeches gave people hope during the war. He knew that words could inspire and give people strength. One of his famous speeches included these words, "We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender." These words made people believe that they could be strong and win the war. Churchill's speeches remind us that words have power. The way we speak can change how people feel. We can use words to encourage ourselves and others. Think about a time when someone said something that made you feel strong or happy. Positive words can help people feel motivated. If we choose our words wisely, we can bring hope and encouragement to others. Another lesson from Churchill is the power of confidence and determination. He always believed in himself, even when others doubted him. If he had been afraid or unsure, Britain might have lost hope. But Churchill stayed strong, and his confidence helped his country stay strong too. Confidence is important in our daily lives. If we believe in ourselves, we can achieve great things. When we feel scared or unsure, we should remember that success comes from trying again and again. Even if we fail, we can learn from our mistakes and improve. Churchill's life is proof that success is not about being perfect. It is about working hard, believing in yourself, and never giving up. His story teaches us that we can overcome difficulties if we stay strong, use positive words, and have confidence in ourselves. The next time you feel like giving up, think of Churchill's words, "Never, never, never give up." Thank you for watching today's video about Winston Churchill. I hope his story has inspired you to stay strong and never give up on your dreams. Churchill's life teaches us that challenges are part of success. No matter how difficult things get, we must keep going. His powerful words remind us to believe in ourselves and never lose hope. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like, share, and subscribe to English Mastery Hub. We bring you amazing stories about great leaders and important life lessons. See you in the next video. Keep learning and stay inspired.